welcome back to our class. Yesterday we started our lesson about separation techniques. Okay, so let's review the vocabulary words one more time. We have separation, technique, mixture, pure substance, or properties, solid, sifting, sieve, hand picking, sublimation, magnet attraction, alloy, and electromagnet. Okay? Be familiar with these words. Okay, so let's go back. We started about separation technique. Okay, yesterday we discussed about why do we separate mixtures and how do we separate solids. Okay, yesterday we discussed about hand picking. Okay, we said that we do hand picking if there are different sizes and colors. It's easily to differentiate. Okay, differentiate which is which. Okay, and then I asked you to answer this yesterday, this activity. It's easy. I hope you can answer this. And then we also discussed about sifting. Okay, we said that we use this technique if the solids are of different particle sizes, wherein the other component will be left out. It's bigger, it will be left in the sieve, and then the other particle will pass through the sieve. Okay, so let's continue. Another technique in separating solids is sublimation. Okay, sublimation in Proton 5 we already studied this vocabulary. Sublimation is the process when solid changes directly into gas. Okay, when solid directly changes into gas. I'm not sure if it's clear in your screen, but it's on your student book, page 30. Okay, you can look at your books, student book, page 30. So in this process, I also watched in the video of your Thai teacher. It is already discussed in there. So in here we have a mixture of iodine and sand. Okay, iodine and sand. So if you want to separate iodine from sand, you can use this technique. Okay, this is when you apply heat. You apply heat to this mixture. The iodine, the solid, no, iodine is solid in here. It will change into gas. So it will go up here in, and then you can separate the iodine crystals. It will become solid again when it reaches here. Okay, when it from hot, okay, from it will sublimate. It's called sublimation, no? So the gas will travel up here and then it will be cooler. Okay, and then it will turn into solid one more time. So the solid changes into gas and then it will change into solid one more time, and then so you can separate now, and you will be left with sand only in the evaporating dish. Okay, so this is another technique on how to separate solids. Okay, and then we can also separate solids using magnets. Okay, I hope you are familiar with magnets. I think since Pratham 2 we have been you have studied about magnets already. Okay, so we're going to go back to this activity. This will be your homework for today. It's easy, don't worry, but let's discuss about magnets. Okay, using magnet in separating solids. Okay, so in this one, iron, cobalt, and nickel are common magnetic materials. So these are examples of magnetic materials: iron, cobalt, and nickel. And then alloys that contain these metals are also magnetic. Okay, so what do we mean by alloy? Okay, alloy is a mixture of metal with a non-metal or another metal. Okay, alloy is a mixture of metal with a non-metal or another metal. Okay, so let's go back. So Alloys that contain these metals are also magnetic. Now, we can use magnets to separate magnetic substances from non-magnetic substances. So, we can only use this technique in separating solids if one of the component of the mixture is magnetic and the other is non-magnetic, okay? Because if both substances in the mixture are magnetic, then you cannot separate them using magnet. And if they are both non-magnetic, then still you cannot separate. So when you have a mixture that is magnetic and non-magnetic, then you can use this technique. That's why I've told you yesterday, it is important that you know the properties of the substances in the mixture before you know what technique to use. Okay, after we have discussed all the separation techniques, you will understand that it is really important that you know the properties of the substances in the mixture. Okay, so in this one, in junkyards, electromagnets are used to pick up scrap metal for recycling. Okay, magnetism of electromagnets can be easily turned off and on. This allows scrap metal to be moved from one place to another. Okay, in junkyards, they use an electromagnet, okay? We're going to discuss about this again when we study about electricity. But you just have to understand that this one is not a permanent magnet, it's an electromagnet. It only behaves as a magnet when there is electricity. So you can turn it on and you can turn it off. Okay, so when you turn on, when there is electricity, then this piece of metal will act like a magnet. So in junkyard, they can get, when they turn on the switch, they can get all the magnetic substances, materials, and then they can move to another place. And then when they turn off, all the magnetic materials that got attracted with that magnet will fall off. Okay, we're going to study about this one again when we study about electricity. Okay, just understand that this is another way of separating solids. Okay, using electromagnets. Okay, and this one, this is another form of magnetic separation. Okay, so this one, if you are just going to look at the diagram or the illustration, you will understand. Okay, so magnetic separation is used to extract metals from ores. Okay, yesterday we discussed about ores already. So ores are rocks, so they crush the ore in here. It will be like powder. Okay, and then it's this one, it's a magnetic roller. Okay, so in the magnetic roller, the metals from the ore will be attracted with the moving belt here, and then they will be separated in container A and in container B. So in here, there's a question, in which container do the non-magnetic waste particles fall off, and in which container do the metallic particles fall into? Why? So if you're going to observe, since these particles are attracted with the moving belt, the magnetic roller, then those that fall to container B, those are the metallic particles. Okay, and these are the non-magnetic particles. Okay, so for today, let's go back to your activity. Okay, this one, how do we separate iron fillings from a mixture? Okay, so if you have a material, you have sugar, a sand, iron fillings, big bowl, and a magnet. So in a big bowl, you mix the sugar, the sand, the iron fillings together. And then number 2, place a magnet above the mixture. So you answer letter A. What will you observe? What will you see? What will happen? Okay, no need to do the activity literally. you cannot maybe you don't have iron fillings at home. I also do not have iron filling here, that's why I cannot show you. But you just think, if you have iron fillings and then you have sand and then sugar, what will happen? And then you explain your observation. And then number 3, what can you do to separate the sand from a mixture of sand and sugar? Now, so if you have, so you already separate the, using the magnet, you already separate the iron fillings, right? So if you want to separate sand from the mixture of sand and sugar, you have sand and sugar, how are you going to separate them? Okay, in here there's a help here. Sugar can dissolve in water but sand cannot. So what are you going to do? Okay, so you answer number 2 and number 3 for today. Okay, bye, good luck.